to the official Nintendo podcast.
An issue on sale now. $3.99.
Unbelievable.
Bosh. Hello and welcome to the official Nintendo Magazine podcast. My name's Neil Long, I'm the editor-in-chief, and the rest of the team are going to do their introductions in unnecessarily exaggerated regional accents.
Well, hello there. I'm Steve Hogarty, and I'm the deputy editor of the official Nintendo magazine.
Steve, are you from Ireland?
Yep, got it in one.
Oh man, that was a tricky one.
You sound like... Oh, it doesn't matter. Hello! I'm Tom East. I'm online editor of official Nintendo magazine.
That's really good.
That's really good.
That was what, Tom?
That was Norwich.
Very good. Alright, it's Chris Scullion here for Glasgow. This is official Nintendo magazine, and I'm a games editor. I play all the games in that. It's quality.
That's amazing.
That's right. Glaswegian Ned.
Hello, I'm Gavin. I do the videos. That's good. You're also too close to the mic.
Yeah. You've done Welsh Simpleton there, so that was good.
It's the only one I know.
Nice job.
Thanks.
We're here to talk about the new official Nintendo magazine on sale now with Steve. You were the first person in the world to review The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. We're going to talk about that next in a section we like to call What We've Been Playing. I like to think I'm quite good at platformers. That is a lengthy task.
I'll tell you what, I'm really there. I'm really there.
It's really good. It's really
awesome. Yeah, I just
Utter rubbish in the
blobs.
really, really cool.
Really?
Yeah. That's a really good.
Not my cup of tea, those sort of games.
Really?
They're not mine usually either, but every spare minute of my time, that's really best.
Okay, so this month, as I said before the unnecessarily lengthy jingle there, Steve's been playing The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. You may have heard of it or read about it in the last 2 years worth of O&Ms. We've been writing about this game for a very, very long time.
I think I've written
Steve.
the equivalent of a novel about this game.
Every single morsel of new information we've milked.
What are we going to write about next year?
I don't know.
Let's write features
next
on.
one.
Remember how good Skyward Sword was?
Yeah, Skyward Sword retrospective.
10 greatest moments of Skyward Sword.
So you were finally allowed to
Yes.
play through it all.
I felt incredibly privileged to be able to play through it, and the magazine's out now. You've probably read my review. Needless to say, I absolutely adored it. I think it's my favourite game on Wii, and it's my favourite Zelda game. I absolutely fell in love with it. I think it's an amazing achievement for Nintendo, start to finish. It's really big. It's 35 hours long. That's just the main plot. If you go off and do all the extra things, you're looking at like 70, 80 hours.
Serious?
It's huge, and it's such a lovely looking game. Characters, the locations, just everything about it is breathtaking. I'm going to read some comments from the forum. Yeah,
It's always good.
I can't wait for O&M's review of this next issue. That's the one that's just come out. I can't imagine it being anything other than the best game ever. So I expect 98%.
Funny you should say that.
Yeah, funny you should say that. But yeah,
You gave it 72, didn't you, Steve?
So I'm a bit modest with my review scores. Oxo64 says, the art style has really grown on me since I've seen the game in motion. Who needs realistic graphics when the art direction is this good, eh? Yeah, I think they've done this, you've seen in all the screenshots, they've done this amazing art style. It's like impressionist and all sort of doppled in the background and stuff. And that's the art style they use throughout. And it's just really impressive, and it makes the most out of what the Wii can do, because obviously it's not the most powerful console, but they've really squeezed like every last drop of energy out of it, and it looks absolutely stunning. I think HD or SD is one of the best looking games that's come out this year.
Ooh.
I just can't wait for everyone else to play it.
Bold.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
like no one else can join in with it.
Yeah,
It's
no one's
your
going to
best
argue.
go
Like,
at
no,
it.
you're wrong. I've imagined it looking
You were
worse.
locked away in a secure room, weren't you, throughout the
It was a
playthrough?
vault, a
Yeah.
panic room.
It's a panic room in the bowels of Nintendo UK. Security guards, the lot.
Yeah,
You got frisked on the way in and out.
yeah, and
But that was at your request, though.
on request. Free frisks whenever I wanted them.
Come and frisk me. I'm bored.
Everything you wrote about in the previews about how the Wii Motion Plus controls and stuff, it all just works perfectly. It's like some really clever mini games in there that use the Wii Motion Plus, like you would have seen in some of the trailers, the bamboo slicing game,
Yeah.
where you have a giant stalk of bamboo and you have to slice it as many times as possible before it falls over or hits the floor, or you run out of bamboo. So it takes like really fine control with the Wii Motion Plus to get high scores in that. And flying on the bird control with that and the beetle stuff as well. It just never it feels constantly responsive, and it lets you feel that you have a better handle on the world than you do in any other Zelda game.
Did you sort of fly the bird like that?
Yeah, but yeah,
Like that.
Sorry, podcast.
I was getting the
As you
audio.
do with the plane in Sports Resort.
Yes.
Essentially.
yeah.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Do you have to recalibrate much?
No, well,
Or
you
at all?
press down on the D-pad to recenter the cursor. So when you're in certain menu
right.
screens and stuff, you'll because it's using Wii Motion Plus and not it's also using the classic Wii remote controls where it's using the LEDs above the TV, but sometimes it'll go askew. So you're just whacking
Yeah,
it
it's
out.
clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause I remember doing Red Steel 2, and every now and again you had to just it would go mad, and then you just have to pause it, put it down on a flat surface, and wait for it to calibrate.
Right, yeah, you never have to do that.
Yeah, clearly Nintendo have found a way around it in the zillion years they've been
When you
developing
compare
it.
it to the way Twilight Princess worked, because that had motion controls as well. It's so far advanced since
Yeah.
then. Even things like using the bow, like pointing at the TV to use the bow. Well, that worked really well in Twilight Princess, but not until you play Skyward Sword,
Yeah.
and it's far easier than using the bow in any other Zelda game. It's amazing.
A lot
Awesome.
of the previews mentioned that it's quite difficult. Is this still the case?
I didn't find it that difficult actually. Maybe because I'm really good. Some of the boss fights,
The sword fights look pretty tricky. Some of
Yeah.
the stuff you have to do in those.
It's all really involved. Like you can't just run in. Like I'd say, 95% of the enemies you need to use directional attacks in some way to defeat them. Even like the most basic Bokoblin enemies, they're always guarding on one of their sides, and you have to observe where they're guarding and then attack from the opposite side. The true jellies, you get big ones. If you slice them horizontally, they'll split in two and just rejoin together immediately. But you have to
That is clever.
hit them vertically to split them in half, and then
Yeah.
do it again and again.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so almost every enemy's got these sort of little quirks that you have to pay attention to. So it becomes second nature the more of them you fight. And there's even this weird thing they've done where you have a spirit inside your sword who acts as your guide, much like Navi and Midna and those characters. But she's like very analytical, and you can when you target an enemy and ask her for advice, she'll give you some hints on how to beat them. She'll also give you a battle rating, which is how well you've been fighting against them. So if these guys keep beating you up, if you're no
Yeah.
good against this enemy,
He'll
she'll
say-
say your battle rating's rubbish. Like you should probably practice on these guys.
Pack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of little things like that that we haven't spoken about in previews. So, and at 50 hours worth of gameplay, like you're going to keep on discovering things, like new things.
Awesome.
I've tried to keep it relatively
Wow.
spoiler free in the review as well. So,
Yeah.
Is it hard to do then, I guess? Because it's all...
well, I just went off on one about how awesome I thought it was.
I guess you can't.
From Steve.
It's the same with me. I don't. As much as we've covered this game, I still don't want to know what happens towards the end. I know roughly what goes on for the first few hours,
Yeah.
but after that, I want it to be relatively fresh.
I've managed to avoid every single part of the game except the final boss, because I looked around at one point and saw Steve. I was like,
Did you see that?
I did see it. It's awesome, but and everything else I know nothing about.
I came over to you when you were playing in like late in the office, and it's like it was right on the ending bit, and I started watching for like 2 minutes, like watching the end cutscene. I was like, "What are you doing? Stop watching it!" Because like I literally have no idea who any of these people are. So
So we're going to put a video of the end sequence up on
on
launch
my
day. Is that
website.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
Ruin it for everyone.
I did actually get a PM when Twilight Princess came out, telling me the ending. A forum member.
Really?
Right, I remember that.
Thanks very much.
That.
I remember that. That was
Why?
shocking.
Why?
Did he call you up? Yo, Tom.
No, he just sent me, on the forum. He just sent me a private message going. He said it was blank, and he said something, and then went right to the end, and it just told me what happened at the end of.
He did it on
Twilight.
purpose.
Yeah, he did it on
though?
purpose.
Why
yeah.
you up?
Yeah.
Now you've said that. We're gonna.
That's
That's
horrible.
encouraged kids. to do
Subhuman.
Yeah.
Subhuman.
Did you
scum.
ban him? Just went around and started to give him a kick in.
Yeah.
You called the police, didn't you?
Yeah, I called the police. And
But they can.
still in jail.
Well, they can do it with us this time because we've all seen the end. It's the start. They'll be spoiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's
It's
what happens
It's
midway
also
through.
another month till it comes out, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which is great because we've got the review nice and
We
early.
should be getting our copies to play a couple of weeks' time, I should think. So
Mm.
we'll talk about it even more in the next podcast.
Well, we'll have your
We'll have
reaction.
Mario then at least.
Yeah.
Last forum comment I wanted to read out was from Concerned Camel,
Brilliant.
saying you just.
Concerned about
That's
the camels in
that's
the
my
game.
about being a
username
camel.
of the month.
I wasn't a camel before.
Well, I'll tell you what he's not concerned about, and that's the quality of Skyward Sword. You just know that this game is going to be the best in the series. Fair play, Nintendo. You have outdone yourselves. Pat on the back and a gold star. This is from someone who hasn't even played the thing.
Is he talking about himself? Has he got a guy called Pat sitting on his back? That's concerned. That's why he's concerned.
Yeah. Don't mind me, it's just Pat on your back. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
fans of the series as well, because there's so much sort of in there that's at the very sort of heart of the Zelda timeline and universe, because it's the earliest in the timeline. So it's very. I mentioned in the review that the plot is really sort of. It's actually quite basic.
Yeah.
And it feels like a
quite
really
like that,
sort of
though.
pure
Yeah.
Zelda experience. It's like you're off to rescue the princess, and it rarely gets more complicated than that.
That's good, because sometimes with Zelda games you can just get a little tiny bit laborious when they start adding in all these like crazy elements and
Yeah.
stuff. And you start, even though I'm really enjoying it, it's like, okay, all right, come on, I don't need to know everything about these 3 pieces of thing that I've got to go get from
I have
this
to
place.
say, having played through both of the DS Zeldas, I still don't really know what happened in those games.
Because
It's just like that old lady with the sort of train legs.
you just, in fairness, with those though, you just need
She
to
was
know.
cool.
Right, I need to go here, pick up this,
yeah.
bring it back to here. So I'm glad
The
it
guy
sounds
with
like
the
it's-
horns on his head, that was Spirit Tracks, right?
So because
No,
it's the
Spirit
first
Track.
game in the timeline,
Chancellor Cole, I believe.
Yeah.
is there any kind of subtle like nods to later on in the game, like like in episode 1 of Star Wars, and they go,
Spoilers.
no, I'm not for looking for specifics, but in episode
Yes,
1 when they
just
kind
say
of go,
that.
Just say yes.
here is C3PO, pleased to meet you, and all that rubbish. Is there anything like that, or is it? I suppose it's alternative timelines, isn't it?
So that doesn't make any sense in Star Wars though, because when
it's
they meet
rubbish.
them in New Hope,
He says, I don't remember owning any
so
droids.
then
Oh,
right
you
at the
built
end, right
that
at the end of like, it's like episode 3, like wipes their memories, and then sort of winks at the camera, going, "This is right. We knew all along."
You do get to you build the Master Sword throughout the game. That's one of the main sort of quests in it, and that I think that appears in other Zelda games. But it's not spoiler. We mentioned that in previews.
What?
That has been
Good job I don't
mentioned.
read O&M. That's spoiled.
Even having read everything about Skyward Sword before the review, there was still so much in there that surprised me. So I wouldn't worry about
That's good.
that degree of spoiler.
Awesome.
There's also a really extensive history of the Legend of Zelda, written by yourself, Thomas Beast East.
Hello.
Hello there.
Did you go into how much detail did you go into with the timeline? Did you just leave that alone?
I know everything.
Oh really?
Yeah. Did you do a lot of boning up to get to?
Yeah, I
that
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
It's a very informative read if you're not familiar with the series, and who wouldn't be? But there's some interesting stuff in there that I didn't know. It's particularly those Oracle of Ages and Seasons games. When are they coming out on Virtual
Yeah.
Console?
I don't know.
I hate those
I'd like
games.
to know. You hate
Do
them?
you?
No, I'm not joking.
What's wrong with them?
I
They're tough.
didn't play them.
They're
to be
too
honest.
tough, that's what I hear.
I didn't actually play them.
All
To
right.
be honest.
Good stuff. Well, besides Skyward Sword and a whole load of Zelda action, there's Tetris on 3DS, Chris, which you
Yeah.
had a look at. What do you think?
It's okay. It's Tetris in it. It's made by Hudson Soft, who did the Tetris Party games
Mm.
on Wii and DS. And it's basically just a fancy version of those. So you've got your marathon mode and like something like 20 other modes, but none of which are like, as good as the main like standard Tetris.
Mm.
But
It's got an augmented reality mode as well. doesn't it?
yeah, which seems really exciting at first, but then you realise it's actually a bit rubbish. It's more a gimmick rather. The other
Oh, really?
like 18 modes are actually a lot better than the augmented reality thing, which is disappointing.
I saw you
Because-
play it, and I did that little video for
Yeah,
Mm.
the
and
site. I caught- I
well,
thought it
you
looked
you
quite
caught
cool.
the whole duration of my excitement
Oh,
for
really?
for that mode, and then right after that, I just thought I'm actually not bothered anymore because they give you a well which is like 5 blocks wide, and there's not really a lot you can
Yeah.
do with that, and it's pretty basic. But there's loads of other good stuff. There's a lot of the best modes from the previous games are in there, and the 3D is a bit unnecessary, but it looks nice enough. And I wouldn't go mental for it and run out and get it if you've already got Tetris Party or Tetris DS or whatever. But
It's
if you
good
see-
that they've put it on sale for 20 quid.
yeah,
I think
that's-
30's asking a bit much
Yeah.
for Tetris.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's good
But
because
20 quid is, I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, and if you've got a
Shop
lot,
around, it's about 17 actually.
if you've got
I
a
was
load of
having look earlier.
pals, if you've got a load of pals who've got 3DSs, the multiplayer single cartridge as well, which is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's decent. It's not the greatest Tetris game ever, but it's good. It does
Hmm.
the job.
Good
Top-
stuff.
Tom, you twit says I'll consider it for 20 quid.
Yeah,
So
so
there you go.
start considering it. And also, Yo Schiller, which is quite an interesting name, says this actually looks amazing, and the new modes like the puzzle one could work really well. Might be tempted by this game. Yes, there are like a lot of the modes have been carried over from Wii Party and stuff. So if you've got a Wii and got access to Wii, where it might be worth just getting that first just to see what you think about it,
Hmm.
and then going for the 3DS one if you want more of the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's decent. The extra modes are a bit hit and miss, but there's a few. Like there's a really clever jigsaw type one where you can take a photo with your 3DS camera,
Mm.
and then it breaks the photo up into little squares, and the squares then drop down the well, and you've got to place them in the right order to recreate the photo,
That's cool.
which is pretty awesome.
Mm.
But
Mm.
yeah,
Is
it's decent.
there a rocket in it?
There is no rocket that I could see.
Okay.
60%.
What,
Maybe
you
just-
particular-
maybe just
particular
write that
fan
down.
of rockets there?
Sans rockets.
Well, the original one's got a rocket at the end that takes off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That is true.
no rocket equals confirmed.
How Russian is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's not as Russian as I'd hoped.
It has got
Um,
progressively less Russian through the years,
so
hasn't
maybe
it?
people won't be rushing out to buy it.
No,
That's good.
they do have
Wasn't
the
even that good.
Thanks.
they do have the original Russian Tetris type music
Oh, good.
in there. But that's about it. That's
Good
as
stuff.
Russian as it gets. There's no vodka or anything like that in there.
Okay.
Or any other
Is there any
stereotypes.
vodka or
Andrei
Russianness
Arshavin.
in Go Vacation? another title in this issue.
Nice.
Good, that's good. No,
A surprisingly not terrible collection of mini games.
do you know
It's
some?
actually
yeah.
really good.
It's actually really good,
Mm.
and it's a shame. We got loads of people who are going to, at the risk of sounding miserable, a load of people are going to look at this and say shovelware and just move
Yeah.
on and not
Mm.
even pay it. But yeah, apparently,
Philistines.
exactly.
Mm.
Well, apparently,
Martin is awesome. Off the forum said,
Yeah.
"Sorry, Namco, you've got a fierce competition this month, and you've already lost."
Exactly.
I
So
read that
that's
as
sort of-
martinis. Awesome.
Yeah, I thought
But he's got a point because there are a ridiculous amount of good games out
Yeah, they've
in
picked,
November,
it's
and
a
perhaps
hard.
this
hard
does sound like a
month.
summer
yeah,
game.
they've picked the wrong time
Yes,
to release
they-
it. But I mean, what they basically did was after they did, I don't know if you remember Wii Ski or Family Ski, one of those
Which was
skiing
also
ones that
surprisingly
Namco did.
good, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and that was like 2.5 years ago. And
Mm.
since then, they've said let's concentrate all our efforts on making like the ultimate minigame collection, which isn't just some rubbish that's been churned out in 3 months, but actually properly do this
Mm.
the right way.
Mm.
So they spent 2 years on this, and it's like it's properly good. There's like 3 roaming bits where you wander about. There's 4 different resorts instead of just one island like in Wii Sports Resort. So there's like a beach one, mountainside city resort, and a snow resort. And there's like over 50 mini games, but proper solid ones which
Mm.
have properly been put together well and
Yeah.
really good.
Nothing like that 101.
No, I'll tell you
game
about
that you
that.
reviewed.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that later.
But
Actually, he does say, you've already lost, but these party games are some of the most popular
Successful.
on
Yeah.
Wii, aren't
Very
they?
successful.
So
Well,
he may be wrong.
the thing is,
Mm.
Nintendo were backing it. Nintendo were publishing it, and because they've obviously realised that this is different from all the other ones that are churned out. So if they give it proper backing over Christmas, it could be the next Wii Sports Resort, basically.
Funny you should say that, Chris. A chap called Brimstone on the forum says, I would probably get this if it turns out to be a spiritual follow-on from Sports Resort. Which is,
Spiritual it is.
yeah.
At the
It's
start,
got
you
a
see
lot of
like
praying
you
in
see
it.
a load of characters sitting around like a church with a big picture of Woohoo Island up above the altar. So,
Yeah. So it could be considered that.
yeah, I'd say so. In fact, I'd say some of the mini games. I'd say it's a better single player game than Wii Sports Resort because there's actually stuff to do.
A sense of progression and,
Yeah,
and so on.
You get medals for each from playing each, and there's like a medal hunt as you walk around, and it unlocks stuff for your cabin that you design and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's surprisingly good. Do not ignore it.
Yeah. And another game that's also in the issue and definitely hasn't been ignored. It's been one of the most popular things on our site for a little while, hasn't it? FIFA 12. Goal.
Eat my
there
goal.
certainly are goals in football, Gav. Well done. 3DS fan 42 said of FIFA 12.
Are there that many 3DS fans?
It's quite a long. He's
only
done a little
42.
review of this,
Yeah.
so it's quite long.
Be prepared for listening to my dull voice for a little while. I have been looking forward to this game for quite a long time, and when I got it, I wasn't all disappointed. I already knew that the game wouldn't feature online mode or Street Pass, so I wasn't that bothered with that. I was, incidentally. The graphics are quite good for a handheld console. The gameplay is superb. The range of teams, stadia, and licenses compared to PES 3D is outstanding. You must get this game if you love football and own a 3DS. 90%. I gave it 80, I think.
It looks better
And-
than the Wii version. That's not a weird thing
Yeah.
to say, is it? Like
No,
it looks
it is.
loads
Oh
better
yeah,
than
Just
the Wii version,
version
looks terrible.
comfortably is an embarrassment to anyone who owns a Wii.
Whoa!
I mean,
or
it's a
plays
decent.
football.
Strong
game.
words. Strong words.
It is actually quite fun to play the Wii version. We had a couple
Yeah.
of good games with it.
But that's
didn't
just because football
It's
games
good.
are fun
Well,
to play in general, though, isn't it?
we? You might be right.
And he's absolutely right, 3DS fan 42. The range of things to do in it is amazing. Like it'll as a single player game, which frankly it is without online.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot more value out of it compared to PES because the whole Be a Pro mode and all that stuff. I don't think FIFA 12 should come out on a modern console without online multiplayer. I think
PES
that's
will have online
a
multiplayer.
major oversight.
On a
Especially
personal
a console that is done for is like specializes
Yeah,
in
it's
online
fine for Street
multiplayer,
Fighter, Dead or Alive,
on a
and
completely.
then since then we've had nothing. I don't think that is not cool. EA.
Do you think that it's
Sort it
because some games can't handle it, or just people just don't
Well,
want to get into it?
that was
or-
their excuse, wasn't it?
I think they're
They did a Q&A on the site, didn't they, the developers, and they said it's a mixture of the power of the 3DS and demand.
Yeah,
I think that's what
But I
a
think
lot of
that's
people say. Is the demand.
Questionable.
yeah.
bunkum.
I think they just have to have. They'd have to have servers for it. They'd have to
Yeah.
keep up the servers for as long as the game
The
exists.
infrastructure in
On
place.
a personal level, there's one thing Pro Evo has that FIFA doesn't have, which surprised me, and that is Celtic Football Club. Because for some reason the SPL isn't licensed in FIFA on the 3DS,
Really?
Yeah,
which I really don't understand at all.
It's a
They've
bit of a
got
strange
all
one.
the- so like
they've
St.
got
Mirren
everyone down to your Stevenage boroughs of the
and, like,
world.
Portuguese
Stevenage.
leagues and everything, but for some
Sorry,
reason
not Stevenage.
No
but
borough anymore.
Yeah, that's
Why is that?
I apologise. It's my local
absolutely-
team
I've
there.
absolutely no idea. And being a gaming nerd and a Scottish football nerd, I knew like they've renewed the SPL license for FIFA like 4 months ago.
Is it in the next gen?
So yeah, so I can't think of any reason why. I mean, and even when you first play the game on 3DS, you can download a kit update and a
Yes.
roster update, and it replaces the kits with the proper SPL kits. The Celtic have got the hoops, and Rangers have got the real.
Because SPL don't
um,
trust
real-
handhelds.
I-
Voodoo
no
technology.
idea.
It's like, don't put us
So,
on that thing.
so it's got the real sponsors on the shirts and everything, and the real players, but
Was
the
there a
teams are
time
still St Mirren, are still Paisley, and Hibs are
This is FIFA.
Easter Road.
In
FIFA.
FIFA.
in
Was
FIFA.
it a time when that I was in FIFA? Because it wouldn't surprise me if they've just ported a really old
No,
version of
FIFA's
it.
always had SPL
Yeah.
fully in it. So
I-
for some reason,
Actually, I
don't
checked with
understand.
EA Sports. They
Yeah.
said it's because they think Scotland's rubbish.
Oh, that's
So-
okay.
They
That's
think-
fair
they
enough. I
think-
didn't realise that. That's fair
I
enough.
think
That's-
Scottish football's League One.
I think you'll find Scottish football is grassroots football at its most exciting and breathtaking.
Yeah.
Good work.
Did you think that when you were 3-0 down against Kilmarnock
Oh.
on Saturday?
Pull it back, Tom.
Wind your neck in, Tom.
What's important is that the boys in blue across the River Clyde also dropped points, so that's important.
But yes,
Well, Wheel
Wheel
64, as similarly as a Scotsman, said he was very disappointed that none of the SPL teams are licensed. But he does say that overall that this is currently the best footy game on a Nintendo console, but it's still miles behind the other FIFA games, which I would tend to agree with. To be
Yeah.
honest.
There's a lot of opposition from the Scotch.
Scots.
Yeah,
For 12, good as long as you're not Scotch.
Exactly.
Scots. Is that even?
No, it's certainly not. He's doing it to get a rise out of it.
This is the official Wind Up Chris podcast.
Sorry,
That's good
Chris.
stuff. On a more positive note and less offensive to the
The
Scottish
Scotch.
people, Super Mario Land 2,
Yeah.
also reviewed in this issue. Christopher.
I like Super Mario Land 2.
I like it too.
That's all I've got to say.
Game over.
I didn't play because I was too busy playing other download games like 101 Explosive Megamix.
Yeah,
More on that
tell us
later.
about that.
Mario Land 2 is a sequel to Super Mario Land 1. A logic dictates.
Controversial.
It feels more like the kind of Super Mario World.
Yeah, the map is nicely done, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's nice, chunkier sprites, cheerier music. There's actual proper variation in the levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about that game, even back then, was that the power-ups were rubbish compared to... Because the only
It's
like
the bunny
unique power-up
ears
was the
thing.
bunny ears. No, it doesn't make him float a bit,
Mm.
which is a bit rubbish. But yeah, it's good. It's an improvement over the first game. It's slightly more difficult. It's still not the hardest game in the world, but it'll last you a bit longer. It's got Wario at the end, which is fun. It's good.
Spoiler.
I like Mushroom Chow's comment from the forum, which is, classic game, love it. The first Mario game I ever completed. At a wedding reception in Rugby, to be precise. I hope it was his wedding reception. He just got married. Boring.
So he might have
We'll do
been
this.
5 at the time or something.
But yeah, it's good. Well, the castle crashing from the forum also says, I hope people who played Mario Land for the first time on 3DS aren't put off getting this. Quality between the two is night and day. The second is so different, so much better. You wouldn't even think it was the same series. I think that's slightly unfair because I think Mario Land's got its own charm.
It does look compared to... Well,
Oh, the
I
difference
think
is
he's right there.
is huge, but I think Mario, as the first ever Mario handheld game, Mario Land had its own charm at the time.
Well, it's clear to see how far they've pushed the extremely limited Game Boy tech.
Yeah,
Compare the two. It's pretty impressive, really.
yeah, it is.
A couple of those other Game Boy games, Donkey Kong's a pretty good looking
Mm.
game as well, considering isn't it like 4-bit, the Game Boy?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then you're like,
Which is incredible, really.
it is weird that
It's amazing what they've done.
because they're releasing these titles so randomly. You're getting stuff like Donkey Kong, Mario Land 2, and then you're getting Golf. the
Golf's
next
good.
week.
I've been playing.
Yeah, but it looks.
I know, but I've
Grim.
been enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been
Right.
playing a lot of... you've become Mr. Downloads
Yeah.
on O&M
Yeah.
because of your ties to the internet.
It's because he owns half the internet.
Yeah.
He just reroutes some of the traffic. And his...
You're the guy who pushes the games down the pipes, is that correct?
Into our mouths.
I've seen him. I've seen Tom sitting with a pipe, just sucking games out of it.
Yeah.
Well, you see,
It looked like a pipe.
Well, you see me shouting at the telly whilst playing 101 Explosive Megamix.
Yeah, that was fun. That gathered quite a crowd, didn't it? That
The sushi game in that is
101.
Yeah, there was a massive crowd. Well, a massive crowd. People kept walking over occasionally to see what on earth I was playing. Usually that means it's like something really good.
Or either
But-
FIFA or
Yeah,
something really bad.
FIFA. Or,
Yeah.
But this time it's something really bad. I was trying to skewer sushi with some chopsticks.
Is that video up on the site? Because we made a
By,
little video of it.
Yeah. I'll put it up with the...
That's not even how you eat sushi.
Yeah.
Stab it with a chopstick.
That's true. You have to flick the remote up to skewer sushi and try and get as many as possible in about 30 seconds. And that
That
is
is-
one of 101
Terrible game.
terrible games.
How much is it?
I 700 points maybe.
So-
I think.
My God.
That is it's 70 maths 70p
£6.30.
for 100 points, isn't it?
Is it
Mm.
really
£6.30.
£6.30?
No.
Are they all
Yeah.
different? Are they all like properly
That's
different
90p
games? Because I used to have one of
So,
those.
no, that's on
Oh,
On
yeah,
Wii.
there's 101
On Wii.
games in
On Wii.
one, and like 80 of the games are Tetris.
It said like
490.
99,999 games in one,
Yeah.
but they're counting every different speed of Tetris as a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
game. But is this,
I had
are
one
they
of
all
those.
unique? And
They are all unique, and they are all
Atrocious.
yeah, basically. It was a DS
Watching you play
game
the
and-
basketball one was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to go mental.
Well, you're supposed to grab the basketball. It's on side on as well. So I was thinking, when you play a basketball game, you've all played basketball mini games and things like NBA before, and you're the bloke standing behind the ball and trying to hit 3 points in. We've all done that.
The NBA's from the side, though. NBA Jam's from the side.
Yes, but not like this.
Not, yeah.
No,
I'm not
with,
comparing it to
with no characters. You've just got a ball floating in the middle of the screen,
ghost ball.
and you've got to grab it and then sort of fling it with the remote very inaccurately towards the net, and it sort of floats around. And then when it lands, you're met with the worst fireworks in the world.
The thing is, I played this when it was on DS originally, and it wasn't amazing, but it was adequate. You could tell. Well, it was basically 101 type flash type games,
Mm.
and they all used the stylus. And what they've clearly done, Tom and I have come to the conclusion, is ported this over to the Wii
See-
and made instead of tapping on the screen with the stylus, you're pointing at the screen and pressing A, and it doesn't work that well
Yeah.
because you can't just move like pointer controls over to stylus.
One of those
control and
ugly
stuff.
looking games as well. There's obviously ported because it's all in 4:3, and they've just put these massive blocks at the side of colour, so you have this horrible sort of blue,
They look
red.
Some of that
really
that
disgusting.
ball in basketball looks like a blown up sprite from
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
from the NES or something.
It all looks like
Awful.
stuff created in WarioWare DIY.
Yeah.
That's worse.
So yeah,
it really is
highly
worse.
recommended
But
then.
there are some. What's that flash game where you have to put the free kicks in? That's brilliant. That's not in there.
Flick,
Oh, the-
yeah. Right.
With these
Is it,
games,
is
though,
it a
kick football.
Do you
Baggio?
remember Baggio Free Kicks?
Yeah, that's the one.
amazing.
who's
Amazing.
working on these releases? Who's at a company going, yep, this is ready to go, put it out. I wonder how many people buy this.
This one's gold.
Yeah.
Can't wait for this one. To
There are
a lot of
some
high
good
five
ones.
going on that office. Good, yes,
Let's
it's
go,
working.
guys.
Tom's downloaded it. And only Tom.
Yeah.
But it's a situation where it's like taking you back to the Atari 2600 days here, where people could make games with very little effort and very little cost. And if they made little cost back, then fair enough, job done.
Yeah.
So there's very
I guess
little effort going
if
in.
they put it out and they haven't made any effort at all, and they get.
It's not the
somebody
first
to
bad
start, yeah.
mini game compilation.
Oh, no.
is it?
Mm.
So
It'd be great if we could get some kind of numbers from some of these games just to see
Yeah.
how many people bought them. I know
Yeah.
they'll never ever give us that.
I think that boom is gone now. Like it went the first year or two of the Wii, it went mental. What was that sports one that THQ did? Big Beach Sports did stupid
Yeah, there was
numbers.
lots of
Yeah.
games called
Sports.
Sports.
dance,
Yeah.
parties,
Yeah.
fitness.
well, I remember Carnival
Something.
games
Mega
doing
Mix.
Yeah,
unbelievably
carnival
well.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible.
I think that kind of that boom has gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I don't get
that's
that.
good. Don't get that.
Get
Get Twinbee instead.
Twinbee, I really like.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I think it's really good. It looks lovely. It uses the 3D is quite cool. A bit like what is it? Xevious? How do you say that?
Yeah.
Xevious.
Yeah,
Except-
but-
except that was
But miles better.
terrible.
But the
Yeah.
3D worked quite well if you looked at that in the
It
first
did,
place,
yeah.
didn't it? And this is similar to that in that you really look like you're flying above the ground, so it's pretty cool. And it's great to move around with the circle pad. The difference is that between this and Xevious is I think the enemies it's much more varied. I think
Yeah.
Xevious is quite dull. And
Yeah, it was the same terrain, the same
Yeah.
enemies.
yeah,
That's it.
and
Yeah.
different enemies are chucked at you all the time. You've got this little thing where you have to shoot bells in order to get power-ups, and you shoot them out of clouds, and they change colour, and each one is a different type of power-up, and really there are only two that you want. So you're spending half your time shooting these bells and trying to pick it up when it gets to the bottom, and the rest of the time trying to blast just loads of enemies, and it's really challenging, but really good fun.
Yeah.
So
And it's not
pretty much
available.
the best of the 3D classics range.
I think so, because another reason why is because like
They have been
Excitebike,
stretching the definition
you've
of classic.
been playing, yeah. Urban
I do wonder
champion.
who's choosing these games and who's gone, that's a classic. Is it?
Is it really?
I think they're picking stuff that was classics in Japan. Because I think Urban Champion's got a kind of cult following in Japan.
Okay.
But
Mm.
no one here cares. No wonder Urban Classic.
Not
Urban
over here,
Champions.
Japan.
But
But
yeah.
your ways elsewhere.
I mean, Excitebike you can get so many other places. Well, you can get it
Mm.
on.
Yeah.
No, but this isn't available anywhere. And
Yeah.
It was never released over here, so that's another reason why.
Yeah,
That's good.
worth checking out.
Yeah.
How many's
Very
left?
good.
Is there 2 left?
What
Well,
do
they
you mean?
might release more.
Didn't they say
There's
they
only
were
6
working on 6?
confirmed
Yeah.
that they were working on,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they might release more.
So
I
we
suppose
had
it depends how
4.
they're done. We've had Urban
God.
Champions, Easiest, Excitebike,
What a
and
poor selection.
this,
Twin B.
Twin B.
Surely,
Excitebike's good for
Surely.
sure.
Cyberpunk is good, yeah.
surely Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I mean that would be brilliant.
I don't know. Yeah, surely
How
just
would you
release.
do that in 3D?
Just,
Yeah,
just put a bit of depth to the,
Yeah,
Yeah.
to the
the
background.
blocks.
That would
Some
involve
depth
actual.
on it.
What they're doing is just they're just porting the basic games, aren't they?
I
And
don't know.
just
I
putting
think
3D.
I don't
in.
know what
Well,
they're
I
doing.
read
haven't got a
I read
clue.
what they would when they did Urban Champion, and apparently they just recoded it from scratch for that one because they had to. They tried to put depth on it, but they couldn't, so they had to
That's a
recode
waste
the
of
whole
time.
thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah, good job. But I mean, it looked amazing, but it was just really basic. So if they could do that with Super Mario Bros.
But
Yeah.
You get like kids in their bedroom like making their own 3D versions of that,
Mm.
so it must be
Yeah.
easy enough to do.
I just think they're picking the wrong games. Like,
Yeah.
I just pick like who wants to play a NES game?
How dare you?
No, but I mean, if you why aren't they going back to SNES games and doing that? Like
Yeah.
the games that people love. Rather than
Animaniacs
Star
on
Fox, yeah.
SNES. Bring it back.
Yeah.
Animaniacs.
Animaniacs
if that was
was
the last
awesome.
one.
Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Dare
Doing
I
that
say it? Dare I say the old DuckTales?
Animaniacs was generally good.
Yeah.
Was it?
Really like that game. Yeah.
Mm.
Tiny Toon Adventures was good.
Buster
Yeah,
Busts
that was
Loose.
Yep, the very one. The very one.
Good stuff. And the final
Do you want to hear
download,
about
Tom.
Escape Vector?
Yeah.
I'd love
Now,
to.
I just think that loads of people will look at this and go, that looks really cool. In
Yeah.
fact, Gav did. He came
Yeah.
over and went, cool.
Such a
And
shame.
then,
Yeah.
because
Not that
it looks a bit retro. And then,
Yeah.
But,
I sat down and played it for 30 seconds. Like, yep, that's enough of that.
yeah, it's
I've
not
got
terrible.
The gist of it.
It's not terrible. It's just a bit boring. That's
Well,
all.
I just kept saying why. It was just like, right, what have I got to do? All right, you've got to escape that. Why? I don't know.
Well, it's a bit like Sean. You're
gotta
stuck
fill in-
inside a
you've gotta
computer.
Fill in all the lines.
And you've got to paint over
Mm.
lines. So you're going around with this little V-shaped craft,
Yeah.
avoiding other...
It's an arrow. It's just
an arrow. Okay, it's an arrow. And just riding over all these lines and avoiding the enemies.
Who could go a lot faster.
Who can go a
than you.
lot faster than you, that's true.
Yeah.
Reminded me of a little known Mega Drive game called Zoom, in which you play a wee alien who runs around lines.
But at
filling
least
in
that's an
blocks.
alien.
Yeah, it's got a bit of character. This
Yeah.
is from
Yeah.
the school of
At
thought.
least
This
That's
is
an
two
alien.
lines. This is two lines touching each other, going
if
on
you-
more
if you
lines.
make
Being
everything
chased by
neon-
another line.
If you make everything neon, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's arty.
Put a bit of dubstep on it. That's it. The lattice up.
It's not rubbish, let me point that out. You know, it's all right, but
Just a little bit.
it's
boring.
just not very exciting.
They've spelt
Okay.
vector
And-
wrong.
They have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
only,
reminded
only
me of,
Mortal Kombat can do that.
What was that racing game that you were playing for a while? Because that was really good. When you're just a line in that. It's like Lilt Line.
Oh, Little
Yeah.
Line,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That was
good.
really
That was
good.
good.
And you can see that's well they've obviously seen that that's working.
Although
That's
they did
done
just slap
well.
dubstep on that.
Yeah. And we laughed it up, as I
Yeah,
said.
that's sold. Yeah, that was decent.
So that's all the reviewed games in the issue on sale now. There's loads more previews in there as well. And you look at Revelations, and you look at Super Mario 3D Land, and plenty of other stuff. But now it's time for Nintendo TV.
Yeah.
Nintendo TV time
Brilliant.
with Gav Murphy.
Hello.
Gav Murphy on the TV. Nintendo TV.
That's the jingle I get. Yeah, well we got loads coming up. We went to the Just Dance 3 party last week and saw some
Yeah, I missed that.
I didn't.
you didn't go.
No, I had to rush
Um,
home to check that my flat wasn't being robbed. But that's another story.
Sounds more interesting than Just Dance 3 party, in fairness.
It definitely wasn't.
No, it was good. There was loads of celebrities there and people claiming to be celebrities, like some fat chicks from X Factor.
Whoa! Which ones?
Is that two Essex ones?
Mammy Two Shoes.
Two shoes.
Two shoes.
Mammy two shoes.
Mammy Two Shoes is
Al
the
Jolson.
no, is the mother from is the
Mammy
the
two
mother
shoes.
from Tom and Jerry.
Is that her name?
Yeah, Mammy Two
When it
Shoes.
goes Thomas?
Yeah,
Mammy two shoes.
yeah, it's actually pretty racist now, I think.
Yes.
But yeah,
So you read it
So,
out now.
Two other
Two
celebrities
shoes
were
were
there.
there. McFly.
McFly, that's pretty good. Tiny Temper, Steve said earlier.
I might got that wrong.
Probably.
That can't
You're
be right.
such a racist.
Tinchy Strider.
I was put on the spot and I just named a random celebrity.
Alexandra Burke.
Really?
Yeah, she is nice.
A pretty lady?
She is someone who went there.
Yeah, but if you want, I mean, we've got all the stuff going on from Just Dance 3 and opportunity to win copies of the game
Yeah.
coming up in this week's
What?
Nintendo TV, which will be live.
So it was a good
from
party,
the
that
21st.
one.
Yeah, it was all done at like a house party. So, and it was weird just going around.
Noel's house
I think that that would
Mr.
have been
Blobby running around.
amazing.
Guns tank.
But
The
it was weird. Like on a bit of the footage
You
that
get
I've
a
got,
gotcha on the way out.
I think it's that dude from. Is it like Louis Spence? Is that a person?
Yep.
I
Is
think
that a person?
I think
That
it's
is
questionable.
person.
Yeah,
He's
it is
quite-
questionable
He's
whether
a,
he's a
he's a
human
flamboyant
being.
gentleman.
Yeah, but
who
there's
does
this bit where because
dancing.
Ubisoft did an amazing job. They always do amazing with their parties, but there's this bit where like the camera's sort of doing this little move around. We had a cameraman there, and he just walks past Louis Spencer sitting on a couple of stairs just by himself texting. And it's like, you know when you go
It's
to a
quite a
real
tragic
house
moment.
party and there's like people who are just like, well, you know, losers, let's call them, you know, and they're just sort of sitting there by themselves, and this is what he was doing.
I'm amazed you
Poor
managed to
old
get Louis Spence on camera and not moving about quite a
Yeah.
lot.
I thought you were going to say he saw the camera and started, dancing about and
Nah,
stuff.
he couldn't. He didn't.
But he was
care.
sort of crying a little bit and
There
texting.
were a couple of people that as soon as they saw the camera, they started acting up.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what they're there for. Really.
He was just texting his friend saying, "This isn't real dancing." They're ruining the majesty.
I'm about to bust one out.
They're destroying the majesty of dance.
Yeah, but no, yeah. So if you want to win a copy of Just Dance 3, which is awesome, if you like that sort of thing, then watch Nintendo TV from the 21st of October.
stuff.
Next week, we've got an awesome Sonic Generations preview, and there may or may not be a special competition in that. There definitely will be. After that, we've got one of my favourite interviews I did this year, which is with one of the Rayman guys, and he's a really cool sort of French Canadian dude who I got to do an interview outside with him.
Yeah, I
What's
heard
his name? No more
the
interested in that. Oh, you heard the
I heard
audio
the
of
sound
it,
file.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
lots of. He just gets going on a question,
Yeah.
on an answer, and then a big lorry comes past
Yeah,
about
that's
3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Was that
It's
Michael
quite awkward.
Ansel or was it someone else?
Sorry.
Was it the main?
No,
Rayman
it's the other guy.
The other one.
He's
French
got
guy.
curly hair. French dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
curly guy.
Curly
Okay.
French hair. And then after that, we've got Super Mario 3D Land and Skyward Sword. So
Oh yeah, those
we'll have some.
coming out on the same day. That is
Yeah.
It's kind of
That's a
incredible, isn't it?
stupid
I almost
idea.
want to do some kind of like fight in the episode, but I mean, let's do that.
Yeah,
I'll dress you up like Super Mario.
that's fine.
Steve, you're going to be Link.
Yeah.
Guys,
I'll be Harry Hill.
nice.
I'll be a toad.
And then we'll just have a big fight.
You can be Peach.
Yep, I'll do that.
Done. I'll film it. But yeah, we'll be giving away copies of those games on Nintendo TV as well. So make sure to tune in. If
Fantastic.
you haven't downloaded the Nintendo channel from yet, then get it from the Wii Shop and never miss another episode.
Yeah, they're all on there. If you want to look through the history, the glorious history of Nintendo TV.
Yeah, a lot of them are still
Um,
on there. Yeah, you can see a video of me playing around with a goat.
Yeah, and who would
Not on Nintendo channel. You gotta pay extra. for
You got
that.
to pay
That's on
premium.
a-
Yeah.
Pay a premium for that.
Yeah, special interest website. Now it's time for reader questions.
I don't understand, Professor. Why are we going to help solve an inheritance dispute?
This is an altogether unique and exciting situation, and it has piqued my intellectual curiosity. There we go. Frankly, I'm ashamed.
Okay, so this month's reader questions, a mixed bunch. John Vakinis asks, friend of O&M and
Johnny V.
regular blogger,
Regular
JV.
program.
asks, what are your favourite video game references in rap music?
I wish I'd
Don't make
known
us
about
pick
this.
a favourite.
I can't think of anything
Well,
off my head. There's that Eminem one. It's like, this ain't no Nintendo. That's a real
What
thing.
one is that from?
The one with Rihanna.
Oh,
Does
terrible
it say
song.
just wanna stand? That's Cypress Hill.
It's not rap music, but everything has a song, and they say "Sitting around the game gear like Sega never died."
Nice.
Really?
It's quite good.
That's pretty
That's
good.
cool.
What's that one that's out that's really annoying when it's on Six Music? It's called Video Games.
Oh God,
Lana Del
that
Rey.
made me
Yeah.
turn the
I like
radio
that.
off in a rage earlier.
It's good.
I hate that song.
Also, if you're asking what's that annoying song on Six Music,
Yes,
how
every
long
song.
was
That's
it?
all of
Sorry,
them.
yeah.
I've got one here. This isn't a rap song either. It's well, there's two by Mystery Jets. The song is called "Little Bag of Hair"
Yeah.
from their first album. I can't remember what the name is. But
Self-titled.
the album also has a brilliant song in it called "You Can't Fool Me, Dennis." Anyway, the first line is "Nintendo machines in hospitals are always broken." That's it, and then it goes
Are
on.
they?
But this is
Oh,
better.
it's pretty deep.
Well,
Let's-
because isn't the guy, he's ill in some way.
he's got
isn't he?
spina bifida. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he must know.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's not, it's not
It's from
argument.
experience.
He knows his
Yeah.
stuff.
He's not being.
I have to say
Facetious.
he's actually wrong because when I was in hospital when I was 8 years old with meningitis, I had loads of they had loads of Game and Watch
Did they?
things in the
That's
the
pretty
hospital.
good,
But
though.
maybe standards have decreased. Cameron.
Yeah.
This was 1985.
Now,
Oh, was
now
it?
all the
He
NHS cuts have come in. I don't
Yeah.
think you'll be seeing that. Sorry, that was
I think I'm
a
going to take
that
to
was
the
a politics
streets,
nerd there.
take to the
Sorry.
streets immediately and ask for fixed Nintendos in hospitals, please.
You were maybe we were in the same. No, we were in the same. I was born in 1985.
Right.
One month.
That's annoying, isn't it?
Hey,
So, are
you
we-
would have missed Norwich beating Sunderland in the 1985 Milk Cup final.
I
It
probably would have.
Not
was
me.
brilliant.
Not me. I
And
remember
you
it
would
2
have
years
missed
old.
Wales beating
Yeah.
England.
I
Mark
was
Hughes
dead.
scissor kick. I watched that.
Pre-born. Technically
Whichever
dead, isn't it?
correct.
Yeah.
Not alive.
A
So.
ghost.
So, video game
The one more,
references in
one
music.
more. Let's Wrestle in Dreams Part 2. I heard this.
Where do you
on-
hear this music?
I actually heard this on Six Music on Steve Lemac's Round
Are
Table.
you trying to get freelance with Six
It
Music?
says, in my dreams, there were Pokemon beating me up. I
Really?
punched Pidgeotto right in the face. Listen to it on
Good
YouTube.
stuff.
It's got
Of course,
a bit of swearing
the
in it.
classic is Ice Cube saying it's on like Donkey Kong.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was-
And of course, the Beatles had a song called PlayStation 2.
Unreleased.
It was a B-side.
Let's not forget Bob Dylan's classic Moo Moo Farm. What was the favourite? Yeah.
So those are our favourites, John. Glad you asked.
Jay Fizzle.
Mr. Matthew Crether asks if you could remaster any Wii game for the Wii U, what game would you have remastered? He would want the Metroid Prime series. Even Super Mario Galaxy would look fantastic.
Well, Super Mario Galaxy looks fantastic now.
Yeah.
That's not.
It does.
Yeah. I mean, my answer was going to be Twilight Princess because it's one of my
Yeah.
favorite games, and the thing that we saw at E3 looked amazing.
incredible,
I'd
yeah.
love to play Twilight Princess look in HD.
Well, I would say Skyward Sword.
But you said it already looks amazing as it is.
Well, it could
Yes,
look
Steve.
even better. That or Wind Waker. I'd like to see Wind Waker.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
let's go for that. Yeah, really looks good.
That looks amazing as well.
I'm going to throw a curveball and suggest Silent Hill Shattered Memories. So it's my favourite non-Nintendo game on the Wii. And
I guess we should
a
probably
big
figure something
part,
to
a
do
big
with
part
the
of that
thing.
is using your phone and holding your phone up to find ghosts and stuff. So if you could just hold the
Yeah.
controller
Yes.
up and see the
A
ghosts,
Kami
that'd be
would be
awesome.
one way
Good
to...
shout.
Yeah. As soon as
Mm.
Trauma Center is
Mm.
going to be amazing, isn't it? Like that's
Yes.
going to be
Yeah, that'd be
really
great.
Because
good.
Trauma Center is one of my favourite non-Nintendo
Yeah.
DS games,
Mm.
and I thought it was awful on Wii. It's impossible.
I just can't wait as well for a proper American football game. That's just going to be amazing.
Yeah,
like,
the
drawing
Madden
your
comes on
stuff
it.
and
The
that.
next Madden will be amazing.
Mm.
I wish they put a little bit more effort into the Madden that they put out for 3DS because they didn't. Because that's perfect for it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm.
FIFA as well, like just doing subs on the fly without having to pause when
yeah,
you've
that
got the
would
ball and
be
everything.
awesome.
Yeah.
Any kind of
As
manager,
long as
like
they
the
don't-
the manager thing in FIFA would be brilliant. You just because that's what you need. Like sometimes when you're playing the manager game with a controller, it's just like
What's annoying when you're like 70 minutes in and the person you're playing just pauses the game, goes wait, and it's like, well, come on, you're totally interrupting the flow just to push the
But
striker.
yeah, no, you still need to do that. I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I'd be able to concentrate on.
Yeah.
playing
because you'd be
and
thinking. No,
like
that's
playing.
more. You're thinking as you're playing. Then next dead ball, you go. Whoop, whoop, do it,
I'd
just
love a
draw
bit
it
of
on.
Football Manager on 3DS.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
That would be
Game over.
life. Yeah, it'd be game over for any form of interaction with any
Have
other
you played it on?
humans.
Have you played on iPad?
No,
It's pretty.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
No, I don't play it either.
It got to a point a couple of years ago where I had to just stop,
Cold
uninstall
turkey.
it from my laptop.
A friend of mine's got an iPad, and he's
No more.
so we started playing it just for when sitting on the couch and stuff, and that's what Wii U is going to be amazing for. And he said it's just taken over now.
Yeah.
I can't. I'd stopped
It's
it. I
all
broke
over
my
now.
computer playing football manager.
Sega sent me the last one on PC, and I've installed it and spent
Danger.
started playing it one night, and I was playing till like 1:30 in the morning, and I could feel like the skeletal hands of Football Manager going around my neck, and just thought, oh, just uninstalled it.
It's such a
Yeah.
brilliant game that just takes people over, isn't it?
I know. I mean, I used to get up at 6 in the morning to play it before work, and then I'd
Really?
be thinking about it all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one
And
of
then
those
as soon
things
as
you
I got
actually
home,
have
didn't have any
dreams about.
Didn't
Yeah.
have tea. Just went straight on. And
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to wear a suit, and this is genuinely serious, for Champions League final. He put a
My
suit
pal
on.
did that.
Come
Yeah.
on.
No,
I
that.
swear.
My
For
pal did
God's
that.
sake.
Absolutely swear.
My I lived with 3 guys in the last year at uni, and the 3 of them had Football Manager, and they were all playing it in each of their own rooms, and they'd shout through each other, "Oh, just through the semi-finals of the Scottish Cup," and one guy he wore a tracksuit for some, and one
Come
guy
on.
one guy would watch. He could watch just the pitch view, and you see the dots kicking the ball about.
Yeah.
One guy who really took his football seriously watched a full 90-minute game like that, and we're like, "Why are you doing that?" I just said, "I just like watching my back four knock it about."
Whoa. I used to sort of stop and maybe get a drink of water and sort of psych myself up for a cup final, for a fictional cup final. But I'd never got to the point of wearing a suit.
I remember
That is unbelievable.
putting all our computers on the dining room table downstairs in the winter so we could all play at the same time. And a proper fight broke out between 2 of my flatmates. Because one of them came over and was like, "What are you doing?" Like, moved like sort of his mouse like that, because he was just sort of jiggled it, and a goal went in. And he blamed him for that. And a proper fight broke out.
I
in
did
our living room.
properly smash my keyboard once when I lost a cup final in the last minute, and that really hurt my hand. But going, to the point where my brother came in the room and went, "What's going on?"
The last manager
You're
game,
right.
last manager game I got properly addicted to was Ultimate Soccer Manager 2 on Windows 95, and because it had a
My God.
no, it had a bug. It had a bug on it where you could start as a really rubbish team, right, and put one of your players up for sale, but you could set any fee you wanted, transfer fee, and eventually someone would come in. So I started in like the conference and put one of the players up for sale for like 999 million, and after a couple of seasons someone would offer like 972 million. I'd go, yeah, okay then. And then so I had like
Jesus.
900 million to take my team all the way up
That's
to the Premier
cheating.
League.
That is not okay.
That's amazing. I felt like God.
What was the question?
I used to play.
Just started talking about
Sorry,
football management games there.
One more thing.
What was the question? Yeah, Wii game for Wii U.
Yeah, Football Manager.
Football Manager.
Football Manager.
Football Manager wins
Ultimate
there,
Soccer
doesn't it?
Manager.
Absolutely.
For Wii U.
I used to play.
If that ever comes out, we'll stop doing podcasts.
Yeah.
We'll stop doing a magazine.
Stop eating.
Stop doing a website. The internet will shut down because of you, Tom.
True. I used to play a Football Manager game, last thing, on my BBC, and it took half an hour to load.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
half
times.
an hour.
Was
Worth
that-
it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With every second.
Was that a tape deck? or a
Yeah,
floppy?
yeah, I can still remember the noises as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then.
Talking of the
Thanks for
olden
that,
days, Matthew Alsop asks, just a quick question. What was the first game you ever bought on the day it came out? Mine, says Matthew, was Super Mario Galaxy 2. But what about you?
Is this with their own money? Or
I
just
think so. I guess so.
Mortal Kombat.
I used to just get them for Christmas and birthdays.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah.
me too.
I think it was Mortal Kombat 2 because it had the arcade stick with it. For the Mega Drive.
Day one.
Yeah. Day one.
Bam.
I went on and on and
That's
on.
become a thing though, hasn't it? Ever since, which is my one. Sonic 2 was like, the launch day of Sonic 2 was like a big deal, and the release date of a game was
Yeah.
never previously
yeah.
publicised. But as soon as I got Sonic 2 on launch day, like every other mug, and then finished it in
Not me.
40 minutes.
I had to
Uh,
wait until Christmas.
Yeah.
'Cause it
But the
came
thing
out in
is, we
November.
don't really get that anymore. Though.
But
There's
now
no-
it's like the whole day one thing, pre-ordering and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
And
really,
I
that's a
don't
really big part of it now.
Same thing I don't get, like, because we obviously go to a lot of midnight launches, and a lot of the
Midnight
people
launches.
there, a lot of people there have already pre-ordered the game. They just go in because well, generally the Nintendo midnight launch is always a good laugh, and they sort of was a more community thing. So, but a lot of people, I remember like the 3DS launch, and a lot of people at like Galaxy 2, they'd already got the game, they already pre-ordered it, but they would just go in there for the sort of crack.
Yeah.
Mine was NBA Jam on the Mega Drive, and then the same day my brother bought Starwing on the SNES.
Your brother won
So
there, didn't he?
Yeah, did.
Big day.
But my pals were big basketball fans at the time, so in fairness, I really just got it to show
Showing
off.
off.
Yeah.
So luckily, it turned out to be good.
Yeah. I remember getting Eternal Champions on the first day. I'm a massive Final fan. Yeah,
I remember renting that and then being very disappointed.
So I was really into it, and he worked with a stick as well. So I remember like nagging to get Eternal Champions, got it home, and it was like games. It was still 40 quid, 42 quid, I think it was.
There were some.
And
it was loads of money, wasn't it?
Got it home, and it's just like, it's rubbish.
There were loads of Mega Drive games that were huge back then. I mean, I've been told like Roller
Street
to the
Fighter
Rescue
was like 80 quid.
And do you remember
80 quid.
Do you remember
sure it was.
Chakan?
It's funny you should
On the
mention
Mega
Roller
Drive?
to the Rescue. You had an interview at the Weasley twins, and
Yeah,
they mentioned it as one of the
Did
top
they
5
really?
games.
Really? Roller to the
That's
Rescue.
incredible. I've got a newfound respect for those dudes. Rolo to the rescue.
Terrible.
The EA game involving different animals.
It was an
and
elephant
stuff.
and a blue
They all had
rabbit.
different abilities, didn't they?
Yep, the rabbit could jump.
Thing is,
Those are mole.
even if it's
A
terrible,
mole, yeah.
if it costs that much money and you don't have many games in EE, you sort of have to make
Yeah, you
yourself
play
like
it,
it.
You have
don't
to
you?
play it. Yeah.
Well, I had to with Eternal Champions, and there was like this one thing you could do where you got a T-Rex to come as like the finishing move.
Oh, yeah.
I think I managed to do it once in 6 months worth of play now. It's like, but I didn't want. I just felt really bad because I think my parents weren't rich, and I really nagged for it because I was a spoiled little person. And I think my mum was like, "Oh, what's that game like?" It's really good.
Were you inspired by the comic series in Sonic the Comic? Because they did an Eternal
Yeah, they
Champions
did.
comic.
Oh, really?
At the time. That's what inspired me to get it.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where
Yeah.
Bart wants
When he gets
Bone
Lee Car-
Storm.
yeah, he gets Lee
gets that
Carvalho's
awful
putting challenge.
When Millhouse puts his name in the high score table as Thrillhouse, but it only goes as far as Thrillhole.
Bones still look awesome.
Yeah, Bone
Always
Storm
wanted
was. Yeah, they should make that.
Well, it was like half Mortal
Like, for real.
Kombat, half like Street Fighter.
Yeah,
It was just like
it was basically Mortal Kombat, wasn't it?
Just-
Really.
arms and legs, bloody arms and legs
Yeah.
dropping from the sky.
Bone
While you
Storm. There's also a good cautionary tale about stealing in that episode.
Yeah,
So there you go, Matthew. Don't steal. Now it is time for the competition. Okay, so last month we asked you to send us your best made-up Pokemon jokes, with the winner getting a copy of Pokemon Black and randomly Rune Factory 3 on DS. Chris, you've got them all there. We're going to judge them live.
Yep.
Or
I'll give you a selection.
We've got a laugh meter.
Yeah,
And,
I'll give you a selection. I should warn you in advance that by specifying that they weren't allowed to just Google them, we've ended up with a bunch of absolutely atrocious.
have you Googled these? To check.
I've Googled them all to make sure.
I've just seen the answer and I'm with one of them already laughed.
Okay. I don't wanna look at them.
So a lot of these are going to be so bad they're good. Because
Okay, I've got my
Well, we'll be the
intensely sarcastic laugh ready. So
Ha!
this one's from. That's good. This one's
That was
from
it.
Paul Shin.
Paul Shin?
Regular contributor.
Shinbo.
Big shinny.
Shinnoos.
Big shinners. He says, what did the Pokemon trainer say to his Pokemon when he took it into a sweet shop and told it to choose a toffee-based sweet?
I don't
Quite
know,
specific.
Chris.
He said, Pikachu.
It's not how you
No,
pronounce
Oh, come
Pikachu.
on. Too obvious.
It's not, you know, I
It's
know,
too obvious.
I know.
Pikachu.
Right, this is two
It
trainers.
was good.
It was all
Nice
right.
work, Shimbo.
It's quite long-winded, but yeah.
Yeah, it was. This one's from Retro Toad. Two trainers talking to each other. One says, I wouldn't go for egg Pokemon if I were you. They're hard to catch. The other says, I'll take my chances.
That's good. That works on 2 levels.
It does, it does.
You can tell they're made up.
That's
because-
layered. That's a layered joke.
Yeah, that's,
Um,
it takes very specific Pokemon knowledge.
This one,
That's in the lead so far.
this one's from Olawale Aina, and
Okay,
he's,
regular
he's,
contributor.
he's contributed good stuff in the past, which is why I've got no concerns in saying this is really bad. It's just
Okay.
a giant. It's just really convoluted to get to the
No, I like
I like
the
the best
convoluted
ones.
ones. They're the best ones.
A giant version of the evolved form of the Webble ate Mario. While inside of it, the plumber met a toad who told him, "Thank you, Mario, but the Prinplup is in another crustle."
I think that's the best one. Come on, that takes a lot of thought and imagination to come up with that series of
He's
incidents.
winning so far.
I think that's really good.
Okay,
He's got my vote.
Well done.
this is from Ed Gilligan Davis.
Gillis.
Yeah, old GD. How would Reggie keep his trousers up? With a belt shuckle. Not really. I don't know why Reggie's in there.
Good extra marks for Reggie reference though.
Definitely.
A couple of runners up in my eyes. Adam March says, "What does Pikachu wear at the beach?" Pokethong. Gav like that. Gav's tickled.
You really like that.
Killian Taylor says, "When do you take your Pokemon to the doctor?" When it's coughing. It's good.
Yeah, good bit of coughing. Yeah.
And then
that coughing's already a pun on coughing.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's also double layered. Is that when would you take your Pokemon? When your Pokemon happens to be this species
Well, when it
of
happens
coughing.
to be a coughing.
Yeah.
that would work with kind of American accent. It happens to be a coffin.
Coughing.
Then it works.
It's coughing.
The winner, in my eyes, far and away, is Jordan Bird, who not only is named after my two favourite basketball players, but also gave us at least like 8 very strong ones.
Well, what's his
Okay.
best one, and then we'll because he's got. I mean, you say he's the winner, but we haven't voted.
We haven't.
for
We
it.
haven't.
Oh, well, okay, I'll give you a selection of his best ones, right?
I'll just give it. Okay.
What is a bug catcher's favourite song?
I don't know.
Kakuna Matata. And how does he like his toast? Butterfree.
Very good.
What did the
Radical.
what did the Wobbuffet say when he was asked to lay an egg?
No.
Why not? It's another Pokemon.
I'd say some of these are lost to me.
was everybody's favourite game in Kanto, the region. The Legend of Shelder. Oh, no.
No.
Now.
Okay. Well, he's got 2 more. What happens if you have no Pokédollars after losing a battle? The bay leaves come round.
That's
Oh.
my favourite one.
And then,
That is
and then finally, this one is actually clever because it's good if you know what a Swablu evolves into.
No.
no.
Why did the Pokemon trainer catch hundreds of Swablu? He had an ulterior motive. Oh, that's good.
Guessing what is he called then? Altaria.
Ulterior, an
Okay.
ulterior motive. He's
Good
also
stuff.
had some.
I think we should send Odawani Aina or something. That was
Yeah.
such a convoluted joke,
Okay,
but it
but-
took a lot of thought.
Tom's also pointing another one out to me, which is so bad I dodged it. This is from Steve Howell. It says, "What do you do with your Pokemon after you're trying to get it into the dream world and you put it to sleep, Swiss clinic style?
Right, this is already the leader in my eyes.
Throw it in the trubbish."
Edgy. I like it.
It's outrageous.
He's on the edge, man.
Good bit of euthanasia-based
He's
humour.
suggesting that after euthanasia you dispose them in the rubbish.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
what
think
happens, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, they
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm
I just
not
chuck
an
them
authority
in.
on the subject. But I'm pretty sure they try.
I just saw the answer. Throw it in the trubbish.
Oh, so you didn't see
I
the Swiss
read
clinic
question.
reference?
No.
That's,
But again,
That's wild.
trubbish is already a pun on rubbish.
Yeah.
Try harder.
so who's winning then? Am I wrong in choosing?
No, that guy should win. Maybe we should. Well,
Where's all
He's
the
obviously already
what was
got
that one?
Pokemon
A giant
Black.
version.
Yeah.
Well, we've got more. Well, we've got
We
more.
laughed most at the Olawale
I-
one.
Well,
didn't we?
we've got more copies of Pokemon. So why don't we give Pokemon to
Yeah,
Olawale
that's right.
and give another Pokemon and Rune Factory to
okay.
Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Boom.
Congratulations,
Well done, guys.
folks. Thanks for your efforts. This month's amazing array of prizes. Amazing? Yeah.
Adequate.
Definitely amazing. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 on DS. And I've brought them in especially because
Ah.
I need to describe what's in them. A 5-in-1 luxury pack for 3DS, DSi and DS Lite, including a luxury feel Pro V case. I'm doing
What's
QVC
luxury
voice now.
feel?
It just feels luxurious.
That's good.
2 times screen protectors, spare jumbo stylus included, pocket for AR
She
cards,
said.
magnetic clasp secures the case. This is an amazing series of bullet points.
luxurious.
Can't believe we're giving this
Yeah.
away. I want that for myself.
Yeah, exclusive and unique IMP designs, also available in black.
Imp.
So there's basically a sort of starter kit for your 3DS
It's good,
and a Meerkat themed 3DS case.
The 3DS case is amazing. I've got a Panda one.
It is pretty good.
I can tell you.
We recently
The quality is amazing.
gave a monkey one away on Twitter. So if you want to snaffle those up, we would like you to send in a sound clip of you saying "Official Nintendo Magazine on sale now" in the voice of your favourite video game character. We haven't had a sound one for a while, have we?
Yeah.
It's good.
You should also tell us who they are in case you're going really obscure with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be obvious if you're doing Mario, but
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if we can't tell what it is, there's a good chance that you're not going to win.
Just explain who it is in the email.
Don't be afraid to go for Mario. It's not too obvious.
It is
Yeah.
too obvious, though.
I'd like to hear lots of Mario.
I'd like to hear lots of
Would you?
hello. Maybe
Maybe
Wario.
Charles will
We'll if you send one in, we'll pretty much definitely play it in the podcast, so.
Yeah, we
They're
will
always a bit
play.
funnier, the sound ones.
We'll play.
Yeah.
We'll play anyone that gets sent in, as long as
Well,
it's
if they send,
well,
if we send in like we get a
As long
comment,
as it's not full of abuse and
as
stuff.
long as it's not racist, then it should be alright.
Yeah.
So if you want to enter and win those incredible prizes, please do send in an email to onm@futurenet.com with the subject heading podcast question.
You've done it again, Neil.
What?
That caused extreme conflict last
Did I?
month.
Yeah.
Loads of kids kept his subject heading podcast competition.
Oh, yeah.
It's mental. I didn't even notice
Got
it.
a mental block with
I didn't
that,
even.
haven't
I didn't even notice it last month either.
What did you do?
And
So you got to send in the subject heading podcast competition, definitely not question.
well, but the thing
Otherwise,
is,
that will cause inbox.
we laugh because
mayhem.
some people last month were so. I think they just thought we were trying to catch them out, so we had so
Yeah.
many called podcast question, and then they competition entry in it. That's that very
And you
clever.
didn't win.
Yeah.
Clever girls.
So definitely don't do what I just said. Send it to podcast competition at onm@futurenet.com. The new issue on sale now features lots of incredible things. The first review of Skyward Sword, it's in shops for £3.99. You can go on Tom's website
.org.
at officialnintendomagazine.co.uk. We're on Twitter at twitter.com/onm_UK and facebook.com/officialnintendomagazine. Until next month, goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for listening to the podcast. Bye bye.
Do.